So shortly after reviewing the Hex 80 and calling it the best Hall effect keyboard, a lot of people asked me if there would be a 60 or 65% version. Well, what can I say, Qwertykeys already had their plans. They went ahead and created the Sonic 65 HE under their budget line of keyboards, which goes by the name Neo. And honestly, this time without a collab with 80k, they might have just created my new top budget pick for a Hall effect keyboard. I seriously can't think of any other keyboard around the $115 price point that even comes close to this. Though of course it does have a few weak points compared to the almost perfect Hex 80, so let's dive in. Just like the Hex 80, it ships in a really nice carrying case with a solid set of accessories. An 8K USB cable, 4 spare switches, a Neo keycap and switch puller, an upgraded puller, a plate puller, and then of course the keyboard itself, which is available in 6 color options. The one I got is anodized gray. Design wise it's a lot simpler and more minimalistic than the Hex 80, and if you've been following Neo for a while you will probably recognize this case. It's the same one from the OG Neo65, which was widely regarded as one of the best budget keyboard kits of its time. There are some subtle changes to the design though. The backweight now says Sonic in the bottom right, and the old Orbit logo has been replaced with this pretty sick looking Polaris logo. The finishing again is beautiful, both on the anodized aluminum and the sandblasted press weight, and what I like to see is that this board has a centered USB-C port, which was something I hoped for on the Hex 80. The case itself has a super minimal and clean design with no gimmicky design elements, clean lines, a slim bottom bezel, a slightly larger top bezel, and everything coming together at about 1.5 kilograms. And just like the Hex 80, there's no case ping or other distracting noises, which is something I really like to see. And speaking of the overall quality, I can't think of any other keyboard in this price range that even comes remotely close to this level of quality, and I know this might sound like I'm overhyping it, but this is genuinely my honest opinion. As for the keycaps, they're similar to the Hex 80 set. If you like RGB you will love them, and I actually think the font looks a bit nicer, but just like on the Hex 80 they slightly ruin the sound profile of the keyboard. Under the caps you will then find a carbon fiber plate and a brand new switch from OLAB called Nova. I had high expectations for these after trying the TIs, but honestly these feel more gaming and budget focused. Like the spring is snappier with a fast rebound and it has a box styled stem. And while they have a great RGB diffusion, I think the combination of these switches and the stock keycaps doesn't produce the most satisfying sound. There's also quite a bit of stem wobble, especially noticeable during gaming, which kind of feels odd after using the more premium TI switches. That said, I do think that I'm nitpicking at a high level at this moment, but personally if I were to keep this long term I would definitely swap out the switches and keycaps. And speaking of upgrades, I took this board apart to experiment with some different configs. This assembly is pretty straightforward as it's friction fit mounted, but as always be careful when opening your board to avoid damaging anything. Inside you will then see the 2 layers of case foam, and once the switches are removed you can see the PET switch pad and plate foam. For my test I kept the plate and PET sheet in place, but played around with the case foam and even tried the tape mod. And one thing I want to note after modding this keyboard is that you definitely have to be careful with the blade, because my standoffs on the blade kind of came loose after removing some of the switches. Now let's talk about the software. This was one of the things I was most curious about, since the Hex 80 relied on ATK software. The Neo65 comes with its own web-based software called NeoFlux, and honestly it's super clean and it has all the features you would expect. Adjustable actuation points, rapid trigger, DKS, mod tab and even more. Like, you can set up 4 profiles for gaming, for typing and whatever else you need. It looks a bit cleaner than ATK Hub in my opinion, like a bit more polished, but functionally they're pretty much on the same level, which definitely is a big plus. In terms of gaming performance, I also couldn't notice any difference compared to other high-end Hall effect boards like the 80HE, the Venom 60 or the Hex 80. All of these features work flawlessly, and spec-wise it should play in the same league. So what can I say, for $115 this is an absolute no-brainer in my opinion. If you're looking for a 65% Hall effect board, this is the one I would buy without even looking at the competition. Sure, the stock keycaps don't sound amazing and the switches have a bit of stem wobble, but the fact that my upgrade kit, switches and keycaps alone cost as much as the entire pre-built keyboard just shows how great the value here really is. So from what I've heard, they're even planning to sell the module separately so you can use it with your old Neo65 case, which I think is a really cool move. Anyway, that's my review and I hope you found this helpful, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one. Peace.